Hi y'all, it's Stacy with Stacy's Recipe Crafts. And I'm laughing because this is like take 6 of my whip and chat for today. So yeah, that's how my day's going. How's your day going? Hope y'all are rocking it out and doing great. Um, I am dealing with a little bit of a nasal drain that's causing me to have a tickle in the back of my throat, so I will be frequently pausing and coughing and hoping to remember what I have said and talked about when I come back from the pause, unlike previous attempts where I've completely forgotten where I left off. But that's besides the point. Anyway, welcome. It's a crazy life here. You may hear me pause because I am trying to hold back from coughing. Because if I do start coughing, I'm going to go into a coughing spasm, and I'm really trying to avoid that as much as possible. So please be patient with me and understanding because it is not so much fun for me, just like it would not be fun for you. But anywho, let's move right along. And yeah, so I hope everyone's doing good. I am going to do a little PC announcement up in here that I am not going to get into anything political with what's going on with the world right now because it is a hot mess. Some people may agree, some people may disagree with what's going on. I'm not here to post judgment on anyone. My only thing, and this is what I'm going to say, is I feel for all of those innocent victims out there that are affected by it or have incurred deaths from loved ones who have who are completely innocent in the situation. I do feel for them, and I hope things will get straightened out sooner than later, before more innocent people are involved and end up passing. So that's all I'm going to say to that. And on to more merrier things. What is everybody working on? There are like a ton of projects going on this month, some of which are carrying into next month, and whoo-wee, I thought I was going to be able to do them all, but now I'm kind of second guessing myself. January was supposed to be the day I went into surgery, or the month, and I really didn't have anything lined up for January. And everything was going to start hitting in March and April. But now that my surgery was rescheduled to March, I'm kind of SOL. So I'm trying to see what I can combine. So the 3 events that are occurring right now that actually there might be 4 of them. So the first one is Bella Art de Nicole's. I'm going to put the links below for the Bella Art de Nicole one that I'm involved with because that's the painting I'm working on. You guys can look up the rest of them or check the Instagram calendar with all the events lined up for Mr. and Miss Dubai. But Bella Art de Nicole is doing the bellaartsdpalong, I think is what it's called. Like I said, I'll put the hashtag and stuff in the bottom for you. And it's basically doing a painting on someone or something that you miss, that has passed. Some people are doing it on animals. Some people are doing it on as a reminder for stuff they did with people that are no longer here, or places they visited, or images that remind of them. So it's not necessarily people influence. There could be many different things that remind you of a loved one. And so that's what I'm working on right now. I'm doing I Miss You. A lot of people are doing this one. And it's basically for both my parents that have passed away. My mom passed several years ago, but she did put up a good fight. She had a very, very rare blood cancer. It wasn't leukemia, it was something extremely rare, and she ended up losing her eye right before she passed, as a result from it. And I was just very happy that I was able, me and my daughter, who was it was just a baby at the time. We were able to spend some time with her before she passed. And then my dad passed um, about a week after my daughter's birthday in 2019. And I'm kind of happy that he did it then, because right now going through what this world has come to is not something he would be okay with, i.e. the whole Trump situation and the storming of Washington, D.C., also COVID, or the Corona. I think if anything that might have taken him down. But all things considered, he lived a good life. It was an unexpected passing. He ended up getting sepsis from a ruptured kidney, I think, or colon, and ended up getting sepsis. He had that taken out and was going to have to live with a colostomy bag, which we didn't think he would want to do. But he got through the surgery and was recovered at a skilled nursing care, or at a nursing facility, till he got better. But he ended up having a heart attack during one of their stress tests. So yeah, so that happened. And it was a little unexpected. But I'm okay with it. It happens. You just kind of recover from it and go from there. I don't really have much to say on it. But other things that are being done, there's Mermaids and Magic. So I was supposed to get my Craftively thing at the release. It was a pre-order for March 1st release, and I was hoping that we would have them by March 1st, so I'm not sure when those will get here. It's kind of nice to have them on release day, but I haven't had any updates or seen any updates with them, so I'm hoping we get it soon. But I will not be using it this year, maybe next year, only because the fact I've got too much going on right now. And I already kind of had a painting set up, so I'll just save it for next year, I think. It was a really pretty, I think I got a mermaid one, and then I got one with, I think it was called Butterfly Girl. It was just really rainbowish, and she was really cute. So I got that because I think there's something going on over the summer, and the rainbows, I love the color of the rainbows. So I have one mermaid one and one quote-unquote rainbow one. So I can't wait to get those. And then, so there's that. There's Lindsay's Emerald Along, and I've got my emerald painting. I have been trying to do the unboxing for that because it's a DIY moon. But that unboxing has been giving me such a hard time because I had so many issues with the camera, and then trying to edit it is just, it's been a pain in the butt. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the unboxing of it itself, and then with the drills, once I go through all the special drills and stuff, then I will just kit it up as an unboxing with the drills, so I can show you the drills and the painting itself. And I'll just do that as a kit up thing to finish it off. So I'll add that after I do the initial opening of the package, because we always like to open the DIY moon. It's like Christmas or birthdays every time we get one of those. And then what else? So there's those three, and then I think also the J-Wall Josephine Wall event is starting, and that goes from March to April. But yeah, check him out. My J-Wall is not going to be done until I finish these two paintings, and I'm trying to tie in my emeralds and my Emerald Along painting to the Mermaids and Magic as a magic painting. So I just have to read up on the painting a little bit and see if it's more of a spiritual magic type of person, because it is an actual person. It's called Earth, and it's by Rikjovek. I forget her name. Rika, I forget the name, but it'll be in the unboxing. But it's a DIY moon. It's called Earth. And if it's more of a spiritual type magic, because she does have little symbols on her, I'm hoping it's more magical and I can get that done. That would be awesome. And that'll be two birds with one stone, and maybe I can get my Josephine Wall started early because that is my Aquarius. But that's also magic, so maybe that'll work for mermaids and magic too. I don't know. We'll have to see. But then there is another event with Tmall with special drills, and basically it's anything you bling up using their drills, and those are the sparklers. So I am going to be ordering some of her sparklers for this one that I'm doing right now. I Miss You. I do want to, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a moon right here. So I had some ABs already. So I just have to get this shade of sparklers or her special drills. And then here's Earth over here. So I want to get, sorry, hold on one second. Sorry about that. So I think I want to do the blue for the water and the green for earth or for the land. Um, I think in ABs. I don't think I want to do crystals. I think I'm just going to do ABs with them. I'm not so keen on the crystals because I haven't bought anything from her specifically, but the crystals that I got before, the tops of them are rubbing off. They were clear crystals, and I wasn't too happy with that. I had to take a whole bunch of them off. So I think I'm just going to stick with ABs right now. And I'm not saying anything on Tima's crystals or Tina's crystals at all. I probably will get some samples of those if I can, just because it's nice. But I really don't know how to use the crystals yet. And I think I'm just, because it's very overwhelming for me and it's hard for me to decide what I want to do. I think I'm just gonna get the round ones for now. And I have special drills already on my DIY moon because those always come with specials. And then I also had a special offer where I was able to choose additional special drills, so I'll just play with those and whatever I have left over, because I think those might be crystals, I'm not sure. But whatever I have left over I'll just use on future paintings. But yeah, so those, what is that, 5? There's 1, 2, yeah, that's about 5 events. And then I heard there's a Disney one, and I'm not so sure who's doing that. I just saw something on YouTube about it, and but I'm saving my Disney one. It's for the Princess Along, and I think Lindsay Emeralds and Fairy Lights does that one too. So I am definitely saving my Snow White for that one because that is my unicorn. I'm not really into panels, but Snow White is my girl. She was the first Disney princess I've ever seen in theaters. And that's when I think it used to be a black and white movie that Disney created first, and they changed it over to color, if I'm not mistaken. And yep, my parents took me, I think that was in 1970 something, that it showed up in the theaters in color. So yep, that was my first princess, and I always thought I could talk to the animals like Snow White. So anytime birds were around or deer were around, I always say, I've got the magic touch. They'll come over to me, and nope, never did. But I think that's every little girl's dream, is to be able to talk to the animals or think they have a connection with them. I apologize. I'm not sure why this is so blurry. Let me see if I can get that corrected. Hold on. Oh my god, do you guys want to know what happened? I didn't realize there was an actual film on the camera lens. Oh my god, and I never peeled it off. I'm such a retard. Anyway. So yeah, so there's all those events. So I'm going to post the one for the Bella one because that's what I'm working on here. And then you go check the other ones out. You'll see tags and hashtags all over Instagram. You may see some on Facebook. I don't know. But yeah, so check it out. But otherwise, I've got my surgery on this coming Thursday. Well, it is Wednesday today, so we'll say next week. And so yeah, surgery will be next Thursday the 10th, and I start to go in for my testing on the 7th. So that's going to be a wonderful 2-hour drive there and back. Normally I would go and pick up Jimmy John's sandwich, and unfortunately I cannot get that anymore because I have to be on mostly liquids. And technically I really haven't eaten anything but eggs. I'll have like 2 to 4 eggs, hard-boiled eggs a day. These last couple days just because I really haven't felt like eating. My protein is through my protein soup. I have a protein cheesecake thing that I eat as well. I have my popsicles. So yeah, it's been easier than expected because I haven't been feeling well to want to eat. So I'm thankful for that. In a way, I'm hoping it's not going to hinder anything with my surgery, or that it's anything worse, which I don't think it is. I think it was just from being out in the cold. Sorry if I knocked you. But yeah, so we will see what happens next Thursday. Woo woo. I'll get cleared hopefully Monday. And I am planning to do an unboxing of all my protein stuff that I have. I do need to stop or order from Sam's Club. I just don't know if I want to pay the extra $35 in shipping. It cost me $15 to have everything shipped, but this way I don't have to keep going out there and I get stuff that they normally don't cover in the store. I have a friend of mine that's going through the same thing, so this way she can use my membership as well and we can just have the stuff shipped. So I might do it, see if she wants to chip in on it, and see what happens. But this way there's flavors that are available for me that aren't available in the store. I love the Premier protein drinks. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Only thing I wasn't too much of a fan was the pumpkin. They had a pumpkin spice one I really didn't like. I think I tried it, but the mint chocolate, when that comes in season, that mint chocolate one was so good. Oh my God. But other than that, we had a karate tournament and I did pretty good. My daughter did excellent. She nailed her kata, open hand kata, and she got first place out of 4 girls, I think. One who also was in her school and same belts, so I'm so proud of her. Her sparring, she did okay. She came in third, but one of the girls that she competed with that beat her is from her same dojo. So now we know going next time into it that they have to spar more together so they can get used to it because they'll probably be sparring, in the future because they'll be in the same belt ranking, hopefully. I'm really hoping in May she does get her belt rank to yellow since everybody knows that she can do her kata with fierceness and effort, and I'm so proud of her for doing it that way. And she's been more focused in school or in the dojo, and she's bringing her uniform or I get it to her before class starts. And that's really been helping out, and Sensei hasn't been calling her out on anything. So I'm really hoping that she does really well and she can get that belt rank because she's been white belt for over a year now. Over a year. A year and a half almost. It'll be over a year and a half. And that's just because we didn't have the focus previously. So now we've got the focus and I'm proud of her. I told her that if she gets her belt ranked, then over the summer she can take violin lessons. Some reason that girl is fascinated with the violin, so if she wants to try it, by all means, she can try it and see how she likes it. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out and buy her a violin, but if we can rent one, then we will check into that. And there's a music store down the street from us, so we'll see what happens, you know. You know, you know. And then for her 5th grade graduation, I know it's small, but I miss traveling, and with the weight loss, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to get my energy back and physicalness back, and I would really like to go traveling again. It just means I do have to put up the dogs, which I'm not happy about having to pay for that, but what can you do? I am going to say this very lightly. We never want our dogs to pass, and I'm not saying that I do, but my dad made the decision not to have more pets My sister's made the decision when hers has passed not to have more pets right now because they did want to travel. Pets hinder you from traveling. If you're going to get a pet and you like to travel, just realize that it's going to cost you to have someone, you know, handle your dogs or your pets for you. The only thing that I know will be okay is the cat because I have an automatic kitty litter system that will, last, a good couple weeks or a month, up to a month, just depending. It's only one cat, so depending on the litter, um, it says that it's supposed to last a month, and I figure a 2-week trip should be sufficient. We just lay his food out or have someone check on him and give him food, but the dogs is just a lot, especially because they're big dogs, um, and they need to be let out all the time, and we don't have anyone to do that. So, but I really do, I really, really, really do want to take her on a trip to Australia. And the only really good time to go to Australia, I think, with the humidity and everything and the weather situations, is in April for Easter break. And I'd love to take her for a full 2 weeks. I don't know if that's going to work because of the holiday is only 1 week for Easter, which is just going to stink because I really don't want to take her out of school. But it'll be her last year there, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Especially if you want to go on an adventure. So I'll have to get the timing where we want to go, see what time of, season will be good for it. But guess where we want to go? Guess where we want to go? You guys have probably heard me say it in lives, but or at least other people's lives, is Australia. Australia was the first place I went overseas, and after doing that, I got the travel bug. And I went to so many more places, but Australia was the bomb. That, if you want an adventure, I went on a tour group for 18 to 35-year-olds. We didn't spend more than a full day anywhere. So we got to see a good amount of the country, or the continent, I should say, or half the continent, because I didn't see the whole thing. But different territories, there we go, that's a good word, because Australia is built on different territories. So we went from the Sydney territory, whatever territory that is, I think that's the South Territory, to the north, as far as, oh, what is that place called? The Outback? Yeah. So we went as far as the Outback area, and that was, where did I say that was? Alice Springs and Ayers Rock. So that's as far north as we went, and I was down in Sydney. And we traveled up the east coast of Australia, and it was just an amazing trip. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to go and spend this time as my little itinerary of what I did out there and what I liked. If you have anybody that wants to travel, I never felt unsafe out there. Well, we didn't really talk to a lot of people in general, other than through the tour group, but I never felt unsafe. And going into Sydney, when we came into Sydney, because that's where we were staying, it reminded me of downtown and Chinatown. So, like, not downtown LA, but like maybe San Francisco downtown or San Francisco Harbor, because it was right on the wharf on the water. So yeah, it reminded me of that. So I was like, okay, this is cool. I can get around. And then I took the little bus around, and we went through, we saw the Opera House, we saw the Sydney Bridge. You can actually climb the Sydney Bridge. Yeah, that was not going to happen with me. I was not climbing it. But yeah, you can actually climb the Sydney Bridge. I think they put you with, when you get to the higher parts, I think they put cables on you in case you fall or slip. but I think it's pretty secure from what I was understanding. I didn't think I could have the energy to walk up all those stairs. And it was really high up and I didn't want to risk it. So I wasn't motivated. It wasn't something that I really, really, really wanted to do. So I just hung out in town. We then were on our tour and I wrote a couple notes. So we went to, let me see, Bandai Beach. Bandai Beach was pretty cool. Um, I think that beach, there's a lot of surfing that goes on in that beach, but during certain times of the year, it's either swarmed with jellyfish, deadly jellyfish, or sharks. I can't remember which. So they'll have certain times of the year where you can't go in the water at all. It was very overcast and windy and rainy there. So I had really short hair that was kind of like in a perm almost. And oh, my hair was frizzy. But I'm going to try and show some pictures at the end. I'll do a little quick slideshow, I think. You guys can check out my pictures. I was probably 24, 25 when I went. It was the year 2000. So, what was it? The year 2020. I was 29. Ooh, I didn't realize I was that old. Yeah, I was 29 when I went. I mean, that's not old, but I thought I was a little bit younger. Um, yeah, so there were people that were like 18-year-olds there too. So it was a good mix of people. From there, we went to the Tauranga Zoo and went on a little walkabout. That was kind of cool. Saw the different animals, the wallabies, kangaroos, all the native Australian animals, the cassowary. And that was pretty cool. And then from there, we went to the Botanical Gardens. And the Botanical Gardens had vampire bats. No, they weren't vampire bats. They were fruit bats. And they are everywhere. And they like to eat the fruit. And they have people out there all day long trying to keep them away from the fruit because they harvest. I think they harvest the fruit. But yeah, there's just so many different bats out. I mean, there's so many bats that they're like infestation of them. But no, they're not blood bats. Not at all. But I thought that was kind of cool. And then we went to the Sydney Aquarium, of course. Everyone has to go to the Sydney Aquarium. Sorry. From there, they had little excursions with our group. So I went parasailing and on a speedboat. And we went offshore bike riding, like downhill bike riding. Oh my gosh. My friend who I met out there, she is such a klutz. She fell so bad that she scraped up every part of her arm that's humanly possible because she took a really bad tumble. I felt so bad for her. But she says that stuff happens to her all the time. Where's my wax? I lost my wax. Alright, let me get some of there. And this is probably going to be goopy. Hold on, let me find a drill real quick that I can do this on. Alright, hopefully, whoops, that came out. I'm so bad at putting wax in my pens, it's unbelievable. So, yeah, so we went and did that, and it was fun. I'm sorry she fell, but it was fun. And she recovered. She wasn't too badly damaged, even though it looked like she was. From there, we went to the Lamington National Park and then the Tambourine National Park. They have beautiful waterfalls there, and oh my gosh, we wanted to get pictures next to the waterfalls, right? But the rocks were all wet from the splashing of the waterfall. That people had to be careful they wouldn't slip. And everyone's like, be careful, you don't slip, blah, blah, blah. And here I am thinking I'm the cool kid. Yeah, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. I got this. So I go down and I take a picture, right? As soon as I go to sit down and take a picture, whoops, out my foot goes, and there I go, almost falling down the waterfall. Yeah, that was fun. So they got a picture of me. I'll put that in here as well at the end. But they got a picture of me with my butt all wet from the water on the waterfall rocks and climbing out of it. That was kind of funny. And then afterwards, I think they had a parrot feeding because there were a lot of parrots in the area. So we got to put bird feed on our hands and we held our hands out, and the parrots would just land all over us. And that was really cool. I was wearing a red outfit or a red windbreaker. It's a light jacket that prevents the wind from making you cold, if you guys don't know. And it matched with the birds, so I was very coordinated for that afternoon. So that was a lot of fun. I really want to, do that type of stuff with my daughter. I think she would enjoy it. And she held a parrot when we were we did the islands and a cruise to the islands, and she really enjoyed that and got to hold a big parrot, and we pet a monkey. So that was a lot of fun. And let's see, from there we went to O'Reilly's Rainforest, and that was a treetop walk. And then there was a restaurant that we stopped at. It was a Dracula's Castle, and it's basically like a dinner show with Dracula and all the Dracula type vampires and characters and monsters. So that was kind of fun. It was unique and different, so that was pretty fun. And then from there we went, yeah, I'm telling you my whole trip. So just enjoy and sit back. We went to the Corona Crocodile Farm. Oh my God, that was amazing. So the Corona Crocodile Farm, I got a hold of crocodile, and we got to pet kangaroos and feed them, and they were so small. It was so cute. We got to see the wallabies. I don't think we saw a Tasmanian devil, but I think that might be in New Zealand, not Australia. But yeah, so I got pictures of me petting the and feeding the kangaroos. I would much rather play with a kangaroo than a koala bear. I don't know. Koala bears are so cute though that I kind of regret not holding them. But yeah, and then we had dinner. Um, a while later, um, oh, that comes up later on. So we didn't, I don't know what we did there. But then we went to Fraser Island and Mackenzie Lake, and we went to the seaside rainforest, and that rainforest was cool. And this is one of the reasons why I want to take my daughter there, is she wants to go to a rainforest. Now, this isn't going to be your typical rainforest where you see all the tropical birds and stuff, because I don't think we saw a lot of tropical ones. We might have seen a cassowary. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just walking through the rainforest itself and seeing all the vegetation. That's the right word. The botanical vegetation, I guess. I don't know. And learning about the different plants. They have vines that grow up trees. So they're called strangler vines or strangler trees. And the vines grow from the bottom to the top and wrap around the tree and then loop back down. And they're so strong. Okay, you figure that when Tarzan swung on trees, he must have been using these type of vines because these are really strong vines. You can actually sit on the vine and swing on it. And I've got a picture of me doing that just because I thought that was so unique. But that was a lot of fun. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm sitting here talking and I've already shifted down. So let me show you where I'm at. Don't know how long that was going on, but hopefully you weren't paying attention and you were doing your own work in process and projects and not minding me. But yeah, so we went through there. And I love that. That was my favorite walk of a forest, or one of my favorites. Um, but just the trees. I found the trees magnificent. If you're a photographer, you definitely want to go through that forest because those trees are all the trees. Wherever I went, on whatever walks I went on, whatever waterfalls we went through, any of the rainforest, the trees are magnificent and they make great photography photos. Um, Let me see. So from there we went to the Great Barrier Reef, and that was a huge amount of fun. Um, I love the I snorkeled. I didn't go scuba diving because going scuba diving just puts me in a panic. But I went snorkeling, and one of the things they said was be careful for the damselfish. They are aggressive because they lay their eggs on the reef, and they're very protective of them. Well, sure enough, I'm swimming around the reef. I don't notice anything, but then I start feeling something on my arm. I'm like, what the hell? Or what the heck? Sorry. Um, and I was like, okay, and I kind of rubbed at it and didn't think anything of it. And I kept swimming, right? And I felt it again. I'm like, what the heck? And I just kind of ignored it. I was looking around. I didn't really see anything. Um, And then it happened a third time, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So I kind of was looking around a little bit more, and all of a sudden I see this little damselfish. It's poking around me, swimming around me, and going after my arm, and little, with its little teeny tiny mouth, sucking on my arm. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I got in a little panic. I came up, and I just had my arm checked because it was right on the underneath part of my arm. And it had little red suctions like I was given a hickey. So that was kind of funny. But there's a lot of amazing stuff down there. And unfortunately, with everything that's going on with the world and how people are treating the waters, the reefs are going away. So if you have a chance to catch it, go to the reefs. They're trying to save the reefs and the coral because that's the beauty of it all, and it's slowly dying. So if you ever go up there, please definitely go to the reefs. Be respectful of them though, but enjoy it while it's there. But that was a really, really fun part of it. There's two areas you can do the reef, and I think I waited till later on in the trip to do mine when we were a bit more up north of them. But yeah, that was a fun trip. And I'm sure if you scuba dive, it would be so much better. And then we went on jet skis around in that same area, and unfortunately, one of the guys that I kind of hooked up with, not in that way. We were trying to hit it off before, meet each other beforehand, and he was just really sweet, but I don't think we ever really hooked up. I'm not sure why though. I think I was just nervous about it. But he ended up getting in a really bad accident with the jet ski, and he ended up getting amnesia during the trip. And I felt responsible for him because I was the only one that really knew him because we were chatting before the trip. And I just kind of felt responsible for him. I felt bad for what happened because nobody seemed to really care, which was sad. Um, so yeah, so I tried to watch over him while we were there, but then he eventually just started hanging out with the guys. He still didn't remember half the shit that happened. Um, it took him a while to even remember his name. Um, and it was really scary. Um, but I don't know. He also had a lot of other mental stuff going on too. I didn't realize. But he was a good kid, and we always laugh after we talked about it. We always laughed at the situation. Oh, do you remember this? Oh, no, you didn't remember it. You had amnesia. It was kind of funny. And he'd laugh about it. So I didn't feel too bad, but it was just a horrible situation. I think I sent him the shirt that I came home with. We took a helicopter ride though to get to the hospital. That was pretty interesting. And then they tried to bill him for his jet ski or for his safety equipment or us for the safety equipment. So yeah, I'm like, he had an accident on your jet ski. You should have insurance. And no, he's not paying because the hospital had to rip off his suit, his wetsuit. So I don't know what happened out of that. That wasn't my business, but yeah, it was definitely interesting. Helicopter ride, whoosh. If you guys ever do a helicopter ride, that is like a roller coaster because you don't know which way they're going to turn, and they do dips and everything. And it was just, I almost lost my stomach a few times. Held on to it though, but I don't know if it's something I do again, that's for sure. I think one time was enough. Maybe a hot air balloon, but not a helicopter ride. I'm good. And sorry about my voice. My voice is very deep right now. It's not froggy, but it's deep because, yeah, I don't know why. I'm not congested as much or anything like that. It's just a deep voice today. I could talk in another accent if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. So from there, we went to Monkey Island. Monkey Island was a lot of fun. Okay, so it's just an island, and you hold on. Sorry, I had to cough. So on Monkey Island, we rode these things called mini mokes, and mini mokes are like a little. I want to say it's like a little sand dune quad. Well, it's not really a quad, but it's like a dune buggy type of thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's got a little sunroof on it, a little to protect you from the shade, and it's a little buggy. That goes pretty fast. You have to drive it like a car. So you have to follow the rules in Australia on the right road. And I just couldn't because I couldn't figure out. Because not only I think you're driving, I think it's the only country where you drive on, not only drive on the opposite side of the road, but your steering wheel is also on the opposite side of the road. Yeah, so it made it even worse. Whereas I think in England you're driving on the right side of the road, but your steering wheel is on the opposite side. So for people in the US, our steering wheels are on the left side and we drive on the right side of the road. And I think for Europe they drive, or England I should say, because that's the only place that I really went to. Um, England they drive on the right side of the road and the steering wheel is on the right. But in Australia, your steering wheel is on the left and you drive on the left side of the road. So I was a hot mess driving, and I think I ended up letting someone else drive just because I couldn't figure where I needed to go. Crashed, almost crashed a couple times. Almost hit one on one with a car one time. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. But those were kind of fun. They were fun to drive. Little vehicles. Um, and from there we went bareback horseback riding into the ocean, which was nice. I got pulled under from the horse and flipped around and came right back up. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Um, but definitely a great experience. And then to top that area off, before we headed up north to the outback, we went on a river rafting tour up down the Cairns River. And Cairns is spelled Cairns, but they pronounce it Cairns or Can. Yeah, they don't pronounce the R, so it's like Cairns. Well, I don't know how to say it, but they say it like that. Cairns River. Yeah, I can get the Australian accent down if I wanted to. I don't know how good it is, but after being out there for a couple weeks, my sister didn't even recognize me when I called in to say hi to her. She's like, "Who's this?" So yeah, I can do different accents. I pick up on them quite easily. So it's funny because I'll listen to Janie and Rose on their lives and I'll be like trying to talk like them. I don't know if I'm good or not, but hey, if you're listening, you can tell me how good I am. But yeah, it was really funny. And they're like, "You're Australian." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not Australian. We don't put no shrimp on the Barbie." Oh, and that's another thing. They do not have no shrimp on the Barbie. That is nothing at all that came from Australia. So that is an American thing that Outback created. I'm going to tell you that much. I don't know what they call the shrimp on the Barbie. It's basically barbecued shrimp, I think is just what they call it. I don't think there's anything special, but yeah, there's no shrimp on the Barbie. And the women's bathroom, the women are called Sheila's. I know that. Oh, I have to get my word list. I kept a word list. One of the restaurants had like this word list on what was called what out there. Flashlights, I know, are called torches. Um, Fish and chips. Yeah, I think chips are called French fries. Um, I know torches. There was a few other things. Slip, slop, slap was their logo for when you go to the beach. You have to slip on um I think slip on a shirt, slap on a hat, slop on your sunscreen or something like that. Slip slip on your flip-flops or whatever they called, slap on a hat and slop on some sunscreen. So that was like their whole logo. Every commercial had slip, slop, slap. So that way you remembered what to do when you went to the beach so you didn't get fried because the sun is really extreme out there. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Um, all right, so from there, oh, and the Cairns River rafting, oh my gosh, was so much fun. I've never been river rafting before, and that was a blast. It was a little bit scary just because we went over some rocks we shouldn't have. He's like, he didn't tell us right away. We were just going down them. I think a couple people actually fell out of the boat. Um, Nothing dangerous. Nobody got hurt or nothing like that, but they were just, I think, a higher level of a rapid than what we were expecting to go down. And after we got through it, he goes, yeah, you guys know you weren't supposed to be going down those rocks. Yeah, that was a little too much advanced, but good job, you guys got through it. We're like, oh gosh, okay. Little adventure time, but that was fun. Got a lot of good pictures from there, so I'll upload those as well. And I think that pretty much concluded. Oh no, then we went to the Jabberwocky Culture. Oh no, maybe that's when we went up further north. Um, the Cairns River, I think, was before we got to the Jabberwocky Cultural Center because I think that was more in the outback or the beginning of the outback area for the territory. But the Jabberwocky Cultural Center, it just basically teaches you about the Aborigines, how they live, the stories. They have stories for how different things were created, like the different animals, like the snake and the castlery. And the stories are just how some two guys were going at it or something. I forget the story behind it, but one of the guys did something and ended up growing a tail and had to walk on two legs. And so he became the kangaroo, and that's how the kangaroo was created. And then there was a thing with the snake. And the stories are just amazing. I have a book on all the different stories of how the animals came to be. And it's definitely something to research, even just for the overall, experience of it. Even if you don't go out there, it's definitely read the stories on how they believe these creatures came into play. They're like mythological stories, but the Aborigines mythological stories or the Aborigines stories. And one thing is when you're in the outback or you're in the Aborigine, I hope I'm saying it right, but the Aborigine specific territories or specific land that's protected. They say that you cannot take pictures on that particular land because the spirits of the Aborigines still are there. And if you take a picture, then that captures their spirit and they're no longer there. So they have all around Uluru Rock, when you go on the walkabout through there, they have signs to not take pictures because it's going to disrupt the spirits of the Aboriginal people. And I totally believe that. And I thought it was really disrespectful when people would take pictures. So we go around saying, you're not supposed to be taking pictures. Because we just want to be buttheads like that. But whatever. So, um, Yeah, so we went to the Jabberwocky Cultural Center. We learned how to throw a spear and the boomerang. Um, and I think we played the didgeridoo, or we tried to learn how to play the didgeridoo. And I know Miss Crochet and Coffee's husband plays the didgeridoo. That thing is hard to play. Oh my goodness! Like you have to puff on it, but with an open mouth, and you have to kind of hum at the same time that you're puffing. And ooh, I think we got a few notes in there, but yeah, it wasn't gonna happen for me. I think I just ended up buying a boomerang, and no, I have not thrown it to see if it returns. My boomerangs did not quite return when I threw them, so I gave up. Um, and we got to do our little bow throw, and that was pretty fun. So it's just overall getting the experience of the culture, and I think that's really important. It's done in a fun way. Um, I was never really bored of anything, so that was pretty. And I normally get bored in like museums or historical stuff, but when they're done in like a story theme, then those are really good. I really enjoy those. And then from there, what did we do? What did we do? We went to the Cairns Corunda Railway, and basically that's like a really old train that goes around the mountains, and you get to see all the different waterfalls, and that was beautiful. And it was just interesting being on an older style train. But that was really beautiful. It was really relaxing. We got to see a lot of the waterfalls from afar and then up closer. And it was just beautiful. And then from there, we went directly into the outback. We went to Alice Springs, and oh my God, the flies were horrendous. So, um, in when you're in the outback, if you don't already know, there's a tons of flies, tons and tons and tons of flies, and they're like horsefly size. And you ask anybody, they know that. And so what they do, a lot of people will wear a hat that has these little balls all around them, and it distracts the flies, kind of like a horse flapping its tail to prevent the flies from getting on it. So a lot of us would carry sticks around to kind of swat the flies away while we walked. Others bought hats with these balls going all around them. But those flies were horrible. They were horrible. But we dealt with them. And eventually, I'm not sure, when we were in the outback and we were doing our walkabout and we did our camping under the stars in the outback itself, there was a stampede of something. I can't remember what came through. I don't want to say kangaroo. I forget what it was. Something came through our camp. We can't remember. It was so dark. We just heard the thumping. Nothing we were scared about. They're just like, just be quiet and stay still. We're like, okay. No, we're not going to get killed. I think it was just a bunch of kangaroos hopping by. Who knows? I don't know what it was. Maybe they just had a sound effect machine to make it more interesting. That would be funny, huh? Um, so yeah, Alice Springs, we went through Stanley Chasm Walk, which was gorgeous. I mean, it's just different, the rocks are all different colors when the sun hits them. Simpsons Gap we went through, and then we had a steakhouse, I think it was, called Drover's. It was the menu was called a Drover's Blowout, and basically you had because we were with a group. Let me change these, and I'll go into details of that. But oh, those stay there. Hold on, where's my lid? Okay, so the Drover's Blowout, with the type of menu um, we had a choice. Get this, and don't freak out. Do not freak out. But you have to remember, you're in a different country, or a different continent, actually. You had a choice of choosing kangaroo, camel, barramundi, which is, so you had kangaroo meat, camel meat, barramundi, which is a fish, emu, or beef, and crocodile. So you had your choice of that to eat for dinner. So I was like, okay, I'm in a different country. I'm going to be adventurous. I've always wanted to taste different food that was organic to that area. So I chose kangaroo, don't hate me, and crocodile meat. And I was very impressed. Kangaroo, I'm not going to say it would taste like chicken, it just looked like chicken. I really don't know I can't remember what it tastes like. It was just kind of plain. There wasn't much seasoning to it. But kangaroo meat, if you guys ever had brisket, um, I think that's kind of like a stringy meat. That's what kangaroo meat reminded me of. It was really good. Oh my gosh, I hate saying that, but it was really good. I wish I tried the emu and camel because I found that would be interesting. So maybe next time I go back, that would be kind of cool to try. Don't hate me. Um, we're not eating kanga or roo, so your little Disney friends are safe. Um, but yeah, so that was interesting to try. They also had when we had our barbecue later on. Sorry, when they were doing breakfast, they would barbecue tomatoes and put like an egg on top of it. And I don't normally like tomatoes, but I kind of fell in love with that. I don't know what they called it, but it was really, really good. Um, but yeah, so that was a really good meal. Um, and then we went to the Uramina Bush Camp, and that's where we had our sleep out under the stars. We had to roll our own bags out, and we stayed on these little cots. Um, we did not have any amenities that I know of. There might have been like an outhouse somewhere to go to the restroom, but it was pretty out there. We slept under the stars, and it was the most awesome experience ever. I loved it. But red dirt, oh my gosh, in the outback you've got red dirt everywhere because it is the desert, and it was pretty warm. I'm not gonna say it was overly hot, but it was pretty warm out there. But the sunset was amazing. And Olga and Ayers Rock. I think it was Ayers Rock that you had that lit up in different red shades when the sunrise occurred or the sunset occurred. And the Olgas, I think that was the three sisters. So they were three rocks, like three humped rocks or something. They called the three sisters, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but they lit up so beautifully in the sunset. And you can take a hot air balloon. I didn't do it, but you can take a hot air balloon in the morning or at sunset and see the sunset or sunrise. And it was just beautiful to see the rocks changing colors. It was amazing. But yeah, I think Ayers Rock even would have had what I call brain rock. It was a rock that looked like a brain, or part of the rock because the erosion looked like a brain. And there was also part of the rock that had a face in it. So I'm going to attach that at the end of this. Um, but yeah, that was pretty cool. So I'm really wanting to go back with my daughter. I don't know where I want to go. I definitely have to go to Melbourne because there's two little lady or three ladies um, in that area, I believe. Um, I'm not sure where all three of them are, but I know there's somewhere in that area that I would love to see. If you don't already know who you are, then you will later on. But I would love to see them and figure out where I want to go from there and what I want to see. If I want to go to the west side of Australia since I haven't been there before, if I want to stay on the east side and do those adventures again with my daughter. But that's going to be a huge trip, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get time off of work because I know they don't like me to go for long periods of time, but they're going to have to. Sorry. But yeah, that's going to be so much fun. Oh my god. I really want to get back in the travel swing of things with her because she deserves it. And it's pretty much her and me that like to travel. My husband does not want to travel because he truck drives all the time and he smokes, and he can't be in a plane for too long without needing to smoke. And I just don't want to deal with all that. So we'll see what happens. But I really want to take her on different places. So we were going to try and go to Epcot Center this April during her Easter break. But now that I'm going through surgery, I'm not going to be able to do that because it was delayed. So we're thinking of doing that probably around September for, I think that's what, Labor Day? Maybe around Labor Day, or when they have a few days off of school, either due to teacher's off day or what have you. Her kindergarten teacher wants to go with us, so hopefully she'll still go because she's going through the same weight loss I am, but hers isn't until April. And then, so I figured, let's treat ourselves, let's treat the kids, and go to Disney World. I want to go to Epcot Center so that Jackie can experience the different worlds and cultures, and I think that would be fun. And then, of course, go to Disneyland. So, we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I hope you liked my little journey through Australia. Y'all can come back now. Don't worry, I won't leave you hanging with those photos. I'll get those up as soon as we can. How do you like the accent? I try and do it whenever I can. My daughter cracks up when I do it. I don't know if it's a true accent, but it's as good as it's going to get. Although I don't know if I'm doing it right now, so I'll just stop. It's just silly. But yeah, I loved the Australian accent. Anywho, so I'm going to wrap up so that way I can go ahead and provide you with the slideshow. Now, I was working on a photo album using close to my heart stuff. No, it's not a plug at all. But I never finished it, so just don't mind a lot of the stuff there. Enjoy the pictures. If you got any questions, let me know. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you can, since we talked about Australia, go ahead and give me that Australian flag. I'm just going to stop. Give me an Australian flag if you were able to watch this through the end. If there's not an Australian flag, then shoot up a koala bear, or put both, or put one or the other. That just lets me know that you listened to the video all the way through. If it was your first time here and you made it through the end, thank you so much. And if you're returning, thank you for hanging out with me for right now. I am going to go ahead and turn this around. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It'll be right over right there in the corner. If you haven't already done that, I am trying to get to 200 subscribers, so appreciate if you haven't already subscribed. Go ahead and push that subscription button. There'll be a bell that comes up if you want to be notified of any updates that I'm planned to be doing with new videos and any events that are coming up. Yes, there will be events. We're doing an actual announcement of an event in April. And then we've got an event in February of 2023 as well as April of 2023. So just be getting your heads out. Make sure you hit the bell so you can be notified of those and my uploads. I do unboxings as well, so I will try my best to get some of those up this week. Just know that I will be going through surgery next Thursday, so I'm not sure how much stuff I'll get up, but I'll try and get it preset to air, so you've got something to watch in the meantime. And I bid you adieu. Comment below how you like the video, if you ever want to visit Australia, if you haven't visited and are interested, if you've been there, where have you gone, just so I know, what would be of interest. Love you guys. Take it easy. Don't forget, love yourself, be kind, be true to yourself, be smart, be wise. Take it easy. Bye. Thank you for watching.